my girlfriend announced to everyone that the child she was carrying was the son of the boy from school everyone had a crush on, Kennedy. Everyone looked at me with sympathy. I calmly finished the last drop of my drink and simply said, okay. They had no idea that I had been waiting for this day for 4 long years. Finally, I wouldn't have to pretend to be poor anymore, and I could return home to claim my inheritance, my $1 trillion inheritance. I tilted my head back and took that last bitter sip of beer separately. Everyone, please be quiet for a moment, I said. I have something to say. Sachin Yuan's voice was choked with sobs, and she looked so miserable. The entire room suddenly fell dead silent, except for the girl sitting across from me named Xia Yun. She wasn't happy like someone watching a drama. Instead, a glint of worry was evident in her clear eyes. Chinmo, let's break up now. Oh, my behavior was completely different from what she expected. The long speech she had prepared got stuck in her throat. She looked at me coldly. People around her started whispering, Chinmo, are you? Don't you want to ask anything? Sachin Yuan bit her lip as if she felt my behavior was an insult to her, to the breakup she had so painstakingly prepared. Yeah? Do I have to move out of that rented room right now? I just wanted to end this quickly. So Sachin Yuan's face drained of color, as if my words had made her throat ache. Chinmo, what do you mean? Just then, her best friend, Zhang Li, jumped up and started scolding me, pointing a finger at my nose. Sachin Yuan is pregnant and breaking up with you, and you're only worried about that rickety rented room. Are you even a man? You're right, Sachin Yuan was with you for 4 years. She must have been blind. A penniless loser like you can't give Su King Yuan any future. Now you don't even have a word to stop her. I didn't bother to pay attention to those noisy nonsense. I just stared at Su King Yuan and waited for her to respond. Under the shocked gaze of everyone present, she turned and walked towards Lin Fan one step at a time. Lin Fan sat on the sofa like a king, waiting to receive his winning reward. So Qing Yuan took his hand and, emphasizing each word, said, Chinmo, listen carefully. The one I love is Lin Fan, he always has been, and the child growing in my womb is his too. The crowd erupted in uproar. Countless eyes focused on me like spotlights, as if trying to pin me to a pillar of shame. Lin Fan stood up and gently embraced So Qing Yuan. I'll pay your rent. Just focus on finding a job. And don't bother So Qing Yuan during her pregnancy. He looked at me haughtily. His eyes were filled with a swagger and giving of a winner. There's no need. I'll leave today. Wishing you both the best of luck and a baby. Soon, Becky. I pushed through the onlooking crowd and headed for the private room door. Chinmo, you're so cowardly. You couldn't even muster the courage to ask, why did you ever love me in these 4 years? 4 years. She just wanted to see me beg like a helpless loser. But my steps didn't stop. I opened the door and stepped out. A deep silence fell behind me. But immediately the whispers and gossip intensified. Did he just smile? What about? Was he mad with anger? How poor he is. He's been betrayed so badly. Only Xia Yu watched me leave. Confusion and surprise were evident in her clear eyes. The air in the corridor was much fresher than in the room. I took a deep breath and cast off the invisible burden I'd felt for the past 4 years. Finally, in that moment, it was completely shattered. I took out my phone and, in a familiar tone, dialed the number I knew by heart. Hello, old Wang, little master. You finally decided to call me. My role in this drama is over. I leaned against the corridor wall and stared out the window at the glittering city lights. The car has arrived at your school gate. I'll pick you up immediately. Should we go to the penthouse of Cloud Peak Palace or the mansion in the west? There's no rush. I want to eat all those delicious dishes I haven't tasted in 4 years. As I exited the KTV, a cool breeze hit me at the gate under the night sky. My intoxication had almost worn off. A black Rolls-Royce was parked silently on the side of the road. Welcome back, little master. I nodded and leaned in. The soft leather seat embraced my body. The car even smelled of wood, a stark contrast to the stench of alcohol, cheap beer, and cigarettes inside the KTV. Old Wong, just back from KTV, please move the car, little master. I leaned back in the seat and closed my eyes. I remembered how 4 years ago I had become part of this story and the sole heir to the Chin family, the richest family in the capital. But before I could live a single day in the life of a wealthy prince, something called the system told me that I had to follow the story and play the role of a poor student named Chin Mo until the story ended, Dilma. Otherwise, the rules of the world would erase my existence. As for my billionaire father, he too was bound by the system's restrictions. He wasn't allowed to have any unnecessary contact with me except for sending exactly 2,000 RMB to my card every month for living expenses. Finally, I overcame that bad time. Old Wang pushed a brand new box forward. From the next seat, your phone, little master, without any regrets. I threw the old phone in the car's trash can. As soon as I turned on the new phone, I was bombarded with messages and missed calls. Most of them were from the same phone number saved under the name of an old man, my father, whom I hadn't seen in 4 years. Hey, you rude boy. You finally decided to pick up the phone. Wang has unlocked all your cards. Black card with no limit, spend as much as you want. Don't go back to that junkyard tonight. Your mother cleaned up the house at Cloud Peak Palace for you. Just go and stay there. Voice messages came in one after another filled with that aristocratic concern. I understood. The long line of zeros on my banking app made me dizzy. After all, this is the capital that allows me to live a comfortable life. At that very moment, the WeChat group of KTV classmates called Party Never Ends flashed. Zhang Lili tagged everyone. Guys, there's some exciting news. I just got out of the KTV and guess what I saw? I saw that poor loser Chinmo get into a Rolls-Royce Phantom with 5 8s on its number plate. The group chat went silent for 3 seconds. Are you kidding? Lily, have you had too much to drink? That 58 Rolls-Royce Phantom. Isn't that the car of the richest man in town? Chin. Both of your surnames are Chin. Is Chinmo the illegitimate son of billionaire Chin God? This story is taking a very dangerous turn. Just then, Such Yuan appeared. Lily, stop talking nonsense. Her tone was very flustered, as if she were defending me. But in reality, she was trying to convince herself. It's not nonsense, I saw it with my own eyes. It's 100% true. If you don't believe it, come out and see for yourself. The car just left. Lin Fan also sent a message. It must be rented, he said, along with a sly smile. Emoji. Many wedding planning companies offer this service these days. It makes sense to rent it for Ayate to show off and satisfy his ego, Mousy. After all, he just suffered a major blow. Most people immediately agreed with him. Of course, it's definitely rented. I told you, if he were really a billionaire, would a billionaire son wear such simple clothes for 4 years? What? It's just false pride. What a poor guy, just trying to save a little respect. He's really gone too far. Looking at the group messages, I shook my head, but that's just as well. Let's let the matter play out a little further, until they find out the truth. Their breakdown will be fascinating. And as for me, the feeling of being the sole observer watching everything from above is truly new. The Rolls-Royce stopped in front of Royal Cuisine. It's a magnificent mansion hidden away. Inside a narrow alley, the large red doors were tightly closed, exuding a cool, night-like grandeur. When old Wang knocked on the door, a manager dressed in a traditional suit emerged, followed by a waitress. Welcome, VIPs. Welcome, VIPs. It's not me, but young master. The manager's smile instantly vanished, and a look of deep dread washed over his face. He ran to the car, bowed, and said, Welcome, young master. I simply uttered a chorus of AKs, and then stepped inside. Open your best purple heaven hall. Bring every specialty dish from there. And the Buddha jumps over the wall dish on the biggest plate. Yes, I'll make all the arrangements right now. The manager's forehead was sweaty. He quickly followed me, and we walked through the corridors to Purple Heaven Hall, where the furniture was made of precious wood and was magnificent. As soon as I sat down, my phone rang. It was Xiaoye. She asked Chinmoyu, the photo you posted is of Royal Cuisine, right? How did you know my dad was a member there? I went with him once. Why did you go there? In her eyes, I was still that poor student who had to think twice before eating at KFC. I was just passing by, and the place was beautiful. So I took a photo. So that's it. By the way, have you finished eating? Not yet, I just got off KFC. So why don't we eat together? As soon as I said that, I froze for a moment. There was silence for a few seconds on the other side. Then a very soft voice said, Will that be okay? Sure, I'll send you the location. You can take a taxi and come here. There was a joy in her voice that she couldn't hide. Soon all the food was set on the table. Buddha jumps over the wall was served in a large porcelain dish. Its aroma was amazing and inviting. I took a spoonful. As soon as it entered my mouth, it tasted absolutely exquisite and royal. All the hard work of the last 4 years had paid off. I was about to feast to my heart's content. Just then there was a knock on the door, and Xiaoyu came in. She was so surprised by the array of dishes that she couldn't muster the courage to come in. I said, "Come here and sit." "You said you were just passing by." "I lied to you. The truth is, I own this place." She couldn't believe me at all. "Hurry up, eat it before it gets cold." She took a bite, and her eyes lit up. "It's delicious, but this place must be very expensive, right? Did you spend all your pocket money on this?" She was naive. I said, "Don't be afraid. I hit the jackpot today." "Really? How much?" "I won 100 million rupees." She didn't say anything else, bowing her head. She continued sipping her soup, perhaps thinking I was just boasting. I didn't explain myself much and began enjoying the delicious food I hadn't eaten in 4 years because I had to maintain my image. I ate only plain buns every day. Now I had to satisfy my hunger. Halfway through my meal, I took off my coat. "I'll go to the bathroom." As soon as she left, I immediately called Old Wang. "How far is the investigation?" "Young master, you need to report." "Is everything clear now?" Lin Fan's father's name is Lin Zhengguo. He's the chairman of the Lin Group. But the Lin Group's business has been going horribly wrong for the past few years. His company is deeply in debt and on the verge of bankruptcy. To save this sinking ship, Lin Zhengguo now has his eyes on the Qian family. He wants to marry Lin Fen into the Qian family. The name Qian reminded me of someone. "Yes, sir. She's Miss Qian Rushui of the Qian Group. She's your former fiancée." Qian Rushui's beautiful yet stone-like face came to my mind. She was a very strict CEO, known throughout the city's business community for her indifference. Me. She was my partner, a childhood match arranged by my dad. She broke off the engagement herself shortly after I arrived. The reason was that she didn't like my lack of focus on my studies and career. She thought I just loitered around all day. At that time, I was busy making my own plans, so I ignored her. Who knew that eventually we would find ourselves back together? So Lin Fan will use the child in Su Yingyuan's womb to force Qian Rushui into an engagement. The Jisar case seems to be similar. He's trying to trick them into believing that the Qian family will be forced to give in. After all, the Qian family has very strict principles. If news gets out that Miss Qian Rushui's fiancé has an illegitimate child, it will bring shame to their family. How naive he is. He thinks Qian Rushui is just another ordinary girl like Su Qingyuan, the woman who holds the position of CEO of the Qian Group. His machinations are 10,000 times deeper than those of ordinary people. These small actions of Lin Fan's would seem like child's play to him. But what about Su Qingyuan? Does she know about Lin Fan's intentions? Misu may have some idea, but she doesn't know the full truth. She only knows that Lin Fan comes from a wealthy family and wants a child. But she doesn't know that from the beginning she was merely a pawn in Lin Fan's entire plot. She thinks it's like a romantic movie where marriage will change her life. She's heartbroken that once the work is done, she'll be ruthlessly discarded like a fly from milk. Interesting. I just wanted to live my life in peace. But if someone deliberately confronts me, I'll take a hard time. Old Wang Ji, give the order, young master. Inform all the creditors of the Lin Group. Tell them right now that I'm back. By tomorrow morning, I shouldn't see a trace of the Lin Group in this city. Yes, young master, I'll get to work right now. I hung up the phone and sipped my tea. I was ready for the big names like Lin Fan and Qian Ruhai. Are you all ready to face the real villain? The game has just begun. When you returned, her eyes were red. What happened? Nothing. I just got into an argument with some people in the group chat. I picked up my phone and opened the chat group where everyone was arguing. Zhang Lily somehow found a photo of me eating at Royal Cuisine and posted it to the group. She wrote that Chinifo not only rented an Rolls Royce but also went to Royal Cuisine to show off. Look, he must have blown his entire scholarship. This false pride only brings trouble. I don't know why people do this. Emma, stop it now. Spend your money wisely. You'll need it a lot when you look for a job in the future. Why is their tone always so arrogant? Have you all gone mad? He's eating well, with his own money. What does that have to do with you? You're all just jealous of him. Hey, Xiaoye, why are you so angry? Do you feel bad for him? You two make a penniless boy and a You two are truly made each other. Watch your tongue. Then came the vulgar, deafening abuse. Chiyo was clearly unable to handle it. I snatched the phone from her hand, typed a line and sent the message. A bunch of well-frogs, do you think you're worthy of discussing the vastness of the sky? After sending it, I immediately left the group. Look at how her eyes widened. It's useless to talk to a bunch of idiots. I handed her the phone back. May you become like them. She stood there for a long moment, stunned. Then suddenly she burst out laughing. The tears hadn't dried in the corners of her eyes, but her smile was as bright as the sky after a rain. You've changed, she said softly, aren't you? With a deep gaze, she nodded. The old you always endured everything with your head bowed. You look like you're shining today. Maybe it's the shine of money. Let me drop you home. No need, no need. I'll take a taxi. See you later, you said, hurriedly waving her hand. It's not safe for a girl to be out alone at night. I didn't say another word. Her hand was very cold as I took her by the wrist and led her out of the private room. As soon as I grabbed it, her whole body stiffened and her cheeks turned pink rapidly. Old Wang was waiting outside the door by the Rolls-Royce. Seeing me approach, Phantom bowed respectfully and opened the door. Xiao had turned completely stone-faced. Her small mouth hung open, in disbelief. What are you standing there looking at? Or is this car really yours? Her voice trembled. If not, then whose? It's probably rented. I imitated Lin Fan's mannerisms to tease her. Chayu's face turned tomato red. Probably feeling like a joker, get in. My great benefactor. I pulled her into the car in her dazed state. The atmosphere inside was a bit awkward. Jiayu bowed her head and played with her fingers. After a long while, she whispered a question. Are you really the son of Qin Wanli? Then why did you pretend to be poor in school? To gain life experience. It's a good excuse. She remained silent for a long time. Then suddenly, she looked at me with serious eyes. Your breakup was hooking on. You didn't feel sad at all, did you? Why should I feel sad? For a woman who betrayed her feelings for money? It's not worth it. But after all, it's been 4 years. It took 4 years to understand someone clearly. Consider this a lesson. And by the way, I've accomplished a mission. Yes, a very important mission, Jiayu. Everything seemed to sink in. There was a look of pain in her eyes, a sense of unease, and a feeling she hadn't yet realized. The car pulled up to her apartment gate. Wait a second. When she unbuckled her seat belt, I called her back and handed her a bottle of homemade beer. It calms the nerves and helps with sleep. It's okay to have a little drink and then sleep well. It's been one of my few hobbies these past 4 years. Jiayu took the lukewarm bottle, her eyes sparkling. Thank you, Chinmo. Watching her run down the hallway, I suppressed my smile. Old Wang, please investigate Jiayu's family background. Is there anything else you need to do, sir? There's no need. I just want to know if she's really as simple as she appears. In this world full of conspiracies, or if it's even a glimmer of light, I must confirm its authenticity. Returning to the penthouse suite at Cloud Peak Palace, I tucked myself into the spacious massage tub, and after a bath enjoyed the luxury I'd long lost. Okay, now. I poured a glass of Lafitte 82, a toast to those 4 years of poverty. The phone rang. It was old Wang, the younger boss. The Lin Group is finished. So quickly. Yes, old Wang's voice was calm. At just your word, the capital's financial circles worked all night. Loans were withdrawn and shares plummeted in less than 3 hours. They had to declare bankruptcy and liquidation. Lin Zhangyao suddenly suffered a brain hemorrhage and is currently in emergency. Do you understand? What happened to Lin Fan and Su Qingyuan? Both are in the hospital. It's reported that they had a heated argument. Su Qingyuan's pregnancy was threatened, and she had to be admitted to the emergency room. Rokeshwa also canceled the partnership overnight. Very good. One more thing about Ms. Jia's background. Her grandfather is the old General Jia Zhanui. Zhang Jingui, that name was like a thunderbolt. Simply put, the Qin family may be wealthy, but in front of the Jia family, we're just merchants, nothing more. Jia Yue is actually a third-generation nobleman, yet she presented herself as a weakling. What's the plan? It's reported that old Jia wanted her to experience the life of an ordinary person, to grow freely without being blinded by family prestige. I burst out laughing. It turns out I wasn't the only actor, except she was completely genuine. So will you continue your relationship with Miss Jia, sir? I'm becoming increasingly interested in her. After hanging up the phone, I looked at Jia Ye's moments. Her latest status was a photo of a beer bottle from half an hour ago, with a comment below that read, "Good night." Someone had saved her grandfather. He asked, "What kind of liquor is this?" The packaging is very simple. At first glance, it looks like a low-quality imitation. Jia Yu replied, "Grandpa, a friend made this at home. It's really delicious." The word "friend" suddenly brightened my mood. The next morning, I slept late and then went to the gym and ran for half an hour. These 8-pack abs were my only achievement of the past 4 years. After showering and freshening up, I decided to make myself breakfast. The crab egg buns and lobster porridge had just been served. Just then the doorbell rang. Jia Yu was standing outside, thermal lunchbox in hand. "Good morning," she said a little shyly. "I was jogging nearby this morning and wanted to bring you some breakfast. My mom made it." Seeing the lavish breakfast arrangement behind me, her smile froze and disappointment flashed in her eyes. "Have you eaten?" "Not yet," I said, stepping aside. "You're right on time. Come eat with me." She came inside. Her eyes widened at the breakfast I'd made. "Did you make this?" "I know a little bit." I opened the thermal box. Inside was pumpkin porridge and rabbit-shaped red bean buns. "Your mother's skill is truly amazing. Your crab egg buns are also excellent." The mutual compliments ended. After breakfast, Jia Yuye took the initiative to wash the dishes. I sat on the couch, looking at my phone. The trending hashtag was Lin Group bankrupt. In second place was proud young boss Chin's return to the capital. The comment section was abuzz with discussion. Some people were mocking Lin Fan and Suking Yuan, while others were surprised by my pretense of poverty. Some were even surprised by my pretense of... He was also hoping to meet me by chance. Seeing these comments, a faint smile appeared on my face. Suddenly a scream and the sound of breaking utensils echoed from the kitchen. I ran in and saw that Jia Yu's finger had been cut and was bleeding. "What happened?" I grabbed her hand. I accidentally slipped. She was so frightened by the pain that tears welled up in her eyes. I pulled her into the living room. I sat down on the floor, taking out the first aid kit. "It'll be a little bit painful, just try to bear it." She nodded obediently. As the antiseptic was applied to the wound, her body trembled slightly. I looked up and met her moist eyes. The atmosphere suddenly changed. It felt like my heart had stopped. I looked down and bandaged her. "Next time, be more careful." I stood up to clean up. Then suddenly she hugged me tightly from behind, her burning face resting on my back. My whole body could hear her behind me. Her voice was shaky but firm. I was filled with, "I like you. Ever since the first day of college when you helped me carry my books, I've liked you for the last 4 years. Yes." I stood rooted to my spot. My mind went numb. Xiaoyu's confession was like a stone thrown into Lake Shan, creating 1,000 waves. Even through my pajamas, her body felt so soft. I could feel her heart pounding. "I mean, nothing else," she quickly explained. "Woda, I couldn't help myself. I just wanted to tell you." "You don't need to answer. I'll say this and leave." She was about to let go, but something possessed me. I reached out and held her wrist firmly. I don't know why my voice became hoarse. Back then, I was poor, lonely, and despondent. "Why did you like me?" "Because you're so kind. I saw you secretly feeding street cats and even giving your umbrella to a little girl in the rain." My gaze drifted. "You weren't poor at all. You were a living example of decency and upbringing." I was stunned. So the thing was, soon from some unknown corner, someone was watching me, whom I never noticed. Someone was always silently watching me. My heart swelled, and I felt a strange sense of relief. My throat choked. "Did you already know my true identity?" Xiaoyu paused for a moment, then vigorously shook her head, denying it. "No. If I had known earlier, I would never have dared to come here." Looking at her sincere, frightened eyes, I believed her. The last shred of doubt had finally dissipated. I gently pulled her nose. "Crazy girl." Then I pulled her back onto the sofa. "Does your arm still hurt? If you kiss it, it will go away." Saying this, she buried her face in the white rabbit pillow. This little girl really knows how to tease. Now I leaned in close and kissed her head hard. She looked up, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. You kissed the wrong place. My gaze deepened at her plump lips and my fingers caressed them. You want me to kiss you here? She trembled slightly and with blurred eyes nodded. Yes, but that wouldn't be right. I sat up straight and pretended. A girl should maintain her dignity. Xiaoyu stared at me as if she were witnessing something strange. I cleared my throat to change the topic. Does your family know about this? She started to panic. My grandfather is a bit old-fashioned. He might think our families are incompatible. People like General Xia Jingdu really look down on a merchant family and don't respect them. Don't worry. A merchant has his own ways. Leave your grandfather to me. I took out my phone and texted old Wang asking him to find out about old Xia's hobbies. The reply came quickly saying, old Xia, he's obsessed with rare old books and lost wine recipes. These days he's obsessed with a single book about Yun Spring wine. As a history student, I remember that book by heart. The rice wine I gave to Xiaoyu was essentially a simplified version of that same passion spring. Now I'd have to convince my future grandfather-in-law. I was overjoyed. I led Xiaoyu into the study, which was lined with bookshelves and a large map of the world. Once again, she was completely amazed. I turned on the computer to show her numerous industry reports, such as the future of chips and advances in new energy batteries. Did you write all this? Yes. After establishing a relationship with Xiaoyu, my adult life became quite colorful and interesting. We'd cuddle up on the couch and watch old movies, from Roman Holiday to the Chinese Odyssey, and learn to cook together in the kitchen. I taught him about the 8 great culinary arts of China. He taught me how to make Western pastries. We'd go to the gym together, where I'd sweat on the treadmill and she'd stretch on the yoga mat. Days passed by just like that, right next to me. Today was such a lovely and relaxing day. I was in the wine cellar trying to rebuild Yun Spring wine. Old Wang called me. The younger boss, Su Qingyuan, has come to the company lobby. She's been insisting on meeting you and has been making a fuss all morning. I vaguely remembered Su Qingyuan. She'd been missing for a long time since the Lin family went bankrupt. I thought she'd gone back to the village with Lin Fan. I'm not interested. I flatly refused. But she said she'd jump off the company roof if she didn't meet you. There was a slight hesitation in old Wang's voice. There are a lot of reporters and onlookers gathered downstairs. This is bringing disrepute to the company. First she cries, then she makes a scene, and then she threatens to commit suicide. That's all she knows. I laughed coldly. Ignore him and let him wait. I hung up and went back to my work brewing. In the evening, I drove leisurely to the company building. That building, named after me, is the headquarters of the Qin Group, one of the most magnificent buildings in the capital. A huge crowd had gathered below the building. Reporters with cameras and lenses had surrounded the place so tightly that even a bird couldn't fly. Su Qingyuan was wearing old, tattered clothes. Her face was pale. She sat on the ground with her heavily pregnant belly, crying bitterly. She looked so miserable and helpless. Chinmo, you ungrateful man, come out now. You played with my feelings for 4 years. Now that you've succeeded, you want to throw me out like a fly from milk. Are you even human? This child growing in my womb is yours. If you refuse to take responsibility, I will kill myself in front of your company, in front of everyone. She was screaming and accusing me. People around her were whispering and pointing at her while camera flashes were constantly flashing. I parked a little distance away and, with the window down, silently watched the spectacle. Xiaoyu, sitting next to me, asked with some concern why she was saying the child was hers. Hadn't she admitted in front of everyone that it was Lin Fan's child? Desperation can make people do anything. That's all I said calmly. Lin Fan is no longer capable of saving himself. She can't hold on to him anymore. That's why she wants to come back and extort a huge amount of money from me. So what should we do now? Should we go down and explain? There's no hurry. I shook my head in refusal. Let her make a scene for a little while longer. The more commotion, the better. And just as I had expected, Lin Fan arrived shortly after. He looked even more miserable than Su Qingyuan. He had a long beard and sunken eyes. He wore a wrinkled suit. She was wearing a t-shirt, and there was no trace of that handsome boy. He looked like he did in college. Have you gone mad? What nonsense are you talking about? Lin Fan rushed to pull her up by I'm talking nonsense. Lin Fan, you damn cheater. So King Yuan's anger grew stronger as she looked at him. What did you say to me before? You said you'd marry me and provide a home for me and the baby, and then as soon as your family went bankrupt, you thought of abandoning me. Let me tell you, that will never happen. I never meant to abandon you. Lin Fan was so nervous that he broke into a sweat. That's because my father is still in trouble. I have absolutely no strength left to deal with you. Come back with me first. Don't make a joke in front of everyone here. I won't go back until Chinmo comes out to meet me. So King Yuan held on tightly to the pillar as if she were ready to die. But she wouldn't leave. The two reporters, they started arguing and bickering with each other right in front of the cameras. It was nothing short of a comedy. I saw the right moment and took out my phone and called old Wang, telling him to send the hospital's DNA test results to all the media present there. A few minutes later, the reporters present received an email almost simultaneously. When they carefully examined the email, everyone's breath stopped. It was the hospital's DNA test results, fully legally valid, with the red official seal. The report clearly stated that the biological father of the fetus growing in King Yuan's womb was 99.9% Lin Fan, and that he had no blood relation to me, Chinmo. But what? The truth was out in the open. Suddenly there was chaos and commotion. Oh my god, the child really is Lin Fan's. This woman just wanted to extort money. She dared to come here and defame the younger master, Chinmo. It's truly disgusting. It's a snake in the grass. The younger master was unlucky to have such an ex-girlfriend, and Su King Yuan and Lin Fan had also seen the report. Both were stunned, especially Su King Yuan, her face turning pale. She couldn't believe her eyes. She probably never imagined I'd play my trump card so quickly. When she first became pregnant, I, with old Wang's help, had her and Lin Fan's blood samples taken from acquaintances at the hospital and had them do a DNA test. I never enter the field unprepared. Just then, a police car arrived, sirens blaring. Several officers got out of the car and approached Su King Yuan, brandishing their badges. Miss Su King Yuan, you're suspected of extortion and defamation. Please come with us to the police station. Su King Yuan broke down completely, fell to the ground, sobbing helplessly. Lin Fan stood there like a statue, as if someone had sucked his soul out. Finally, the spectacle ended. I rolled up the window and started to drive away. Xia Yu suddenly called out to me. I rolled down the window and signaled to a reporter standing a short distance away with a camera. The reporter was stunned for a moment. Then he immediately recognized my car's license plate and came running towards us with his camera. Little Master Ching, may I ask you what you have to say about your ex-girlfriend's actions on me? I replied. Before I could say anything, Xia Yu turned to the camera and gave a sweet smile. I will answer on behalf of my boyfriend. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was clear and serious. We trust the law will give the right verdict. Furthermore, she paused and extended her hand. Putting her hand in mine, resting her head on my shoulder, she spoke clearly, each word facing the camera. Please, from now on, no one should interfere in our lives by calling her an ex-girlfriend, because I am Chinmo's only girlfriend today and in the future. With that, she planted a firm kiss on my cheek. The reporter and everyone present were stunned by the scene. Xia Yu's open declaration of this relationship silenced everyone. It had a powerful impact. That very day, news was everywhere about how Chinmo's girlfriend saved him and Su King Yuan's love was instantly lost on air. These words exploded on every social media platform, and we became the most talked about couple on the internet. As for Su King Yuan, her sentence was deferred due to her conviction for extortion and her pregnancy, but her reputation was completely ruined. Lin Fan, with his ailing father and the burden of debt, had to leave the city and disappear. Thus, the main characters of the story met a very sad end. After settling these trivial matters, I focused all my attention on convincing my future father-in-law. I locked myself in the lab for a week and managed to create a famous wine from the Han Dynasty. Then I had old Wang contact the city's largest auction house, posing as a foreigner, and announce that he had a rare collection of ancient books and wanted to auction it. This news created a stir among antiques enthusiasts. The news even reached General Zhou Zhenggu. On the day of the auction, I prepared myself well, dressed in a fancy suit, and arrived with Xia Yu. You held my hand and nervously asked, "Are you sure we'll win?" Grandpa has a short temper. Don't worry. I squeezed her hand and said, "Today I'm sure. I'll make your grandfather 100% happy with this boyfriend." As we stepped into the hall, we saw Zhou Zhengguo sitting in the front row. The old man wore a mouse-colored suit and looked very dashing and imposing. Surrounding him were several elderly, wealthy, and influential figures, bigwigs in the business world. You wanted to go up and greet him, but I stopped her. There's no hurry now. Let's see the show first. After that, the auction officially began. The initial items weren't particularly special until the rare ancient book appeared. The opening bid was 1 million yuan. Zhou Zhengguo immediately raised his sign. The price steadily rose, soon surpassing 10 million yuan. In the end, a battle for 50 million rupees broke out between Zhou Zhengguo and an unknown buyer in the VIP room. Zhou Zhengguo raised his placard, his voice powerful. He was ready to do anything to win it. Just then, a voice from the VIP room called out 60 million rupees. Zhou Zhengguo's brow furrowed. A man standing next to him whispered, "Sir, our budget is falling short." Zhou Zhengguo has been honest all his life. Even with all his savings, he could muster a few crore rupees. This was the highest bid he could offer. He sighed coldly. His eyes clearly showed regret and a sense of defeat. Just as he was about to lower his placard, a resounding 100 million rupees echoed throughout the hall. Everyone turned around, their eyes fixed on me. I smiled and raised the placard in my hand. Zhou Zhengguo was also surprised. He looked at me, then at his granddaughter standing nearby, her face red with embarrassment. Suspicion was evident in his gaze. The guest in the VIP room was now quiet. 100 million for an old book. Far above the market price. This was a waste of money. Just to get a smile. 1, 2, 3. The bid is confirmed. Many congratulations to this gentleman. The entire hall erupted in applause for the purchase of the rare book, and I stood up from my seat. Amid everyone's gaze, I slowly walked towards Zhou Jinggu. I didn't look at him, but picked up the silk-wrapped book and handed it to Xia Yu. A small gift for your grandfather. Xia Yu held it with trembling hands. Then I turned and looked at Zhou Jinggu. I bowed slightly, showing my respect, but I wasn't at all intimidated. I said clearly, "Your little Chinmo Yu's boyfriend is our first meeting. Please accept this simple gift." Zhou stared at me like a hawk, as if trying to peer into my soul. After a while, he said, "You merchants' tricks are quite effective, aren't they? Do you want to buy my granddaughter with the money?" I wouldn't want that at all. I made eye contact. Without a trace of fear, I said, "This book is just the beginning. The real gift is yet to come." I snapped my fingers. Old Wang immediately reached out with an old wine jar. I personally removed the red cloth and clay covering it, releasing an even more unique wine aroma. The faces of the experts present widened in astonishment. Even Zhou Zhengguo, an expert in this field, came closer. His gaze was transformed. "This wine smells just like the one recorded in old books. It's exactly what I've cultivated over years of hard work." I smiled and said, "A book is lifeless, but this wine is alive. I thought you'd enjoy this sip of history more than a single book." Zhou Zhengguo was completely moved by this. He stared intently at the wine jar. Then he looked at me, and the suspicion in his eyes turned to admiration and interest. "You're a very interesting boy." He didn't refuse. He gestured for his man to take the jar, and I knew I'd passed his first test. After the auction, Zhou Zhengguo invited me to his house. Xia Yu wanted to come along, but at a gesture from grandfather, she backed away. She simply stood at the door, watching me. There was concern on her face, but I violently motioned for her to trust me and followed grandfather into his room. It was filled with books along with many old medals and photographs. He invited me to sit down and made me some tea. "Now tell me, young man, what is your real motive for getting close to Yu? "I love her." I answered simply. "What kind of love?" Zhou Zhengguo laughed bitterly. "It's not befitting of businessmen like you to talk about love for me. It's all about profit and calculation. Yu's grandfather hated businessmen." I picked up my teacup and said softly, In my life, I hate greedy people the most. Those who only see money. But if a businessman works for the country and the people, would you still hate them? My question silenced him. I took a file from my bag and placed it in front of him. This is my research team, which has developed a new chip technology that will catapult the country to the forefront of the world. This could revolutionize chip manufacturing. Here's my new energy company, whose battery technology will enable electric vehicles to travel twice as far, and that too with complete safety. And this is my AI medical project. It can detect cancer in its early stages with up to 90% accuracy using data. With every word I said, his face grew in astonishment. When he finished reading the entire document, he was so astonished that he couldn't utter a word. He looked at me as if he were a wonder. You did all this. I, along with my team, made this possible. I said, in my eyes, a businessman is not a synonym for greedy people. Money is just a tool. It should be used to create great value and advance the progress of the country and society. This is the responsibility and mission of our generation of entrepreneurs. Strong youth build strong nations. Business can also serve the country. There was a graveyard-like silence in the study room. Shah Jain Goya looked at me for a long time. The doubts and questions in his eyes turned to surprise, and then he felt a sense of relief and pride. He suddenly burst out laughing. Yes, very good. Really great business. It can serve the country. I take back what I said. He stood up and patted me firmly on the shoulder. You are the perfect life partner for my granddaughter, Yu. It is her good fortune to have you and a blessing for our family. I knew that I had not only won the heart of this mountain-like man, whom people called my grandfather-in-law, but had also made him my greatest supporter. When I left the Shah residence, Shah Yu ran like a little rabbit and hugged me. How was it? My grandfather didn't bother you too much, did he? I frowned and said he was against us being together. Shah Yu's face immediately fell and her eyes filled with tears. I interrupted, saying, quote. He said he wouldn't see his great-grandchildren unless we got married soon. Shah Yu was stunned for 3 seconds. Then she realized I was teasing her. She said, you're so mean, and with her tiny hands, she began to gently hit me, which had no force at all. I laughed and grabbed her hands, pulling her into my arms. Whispering in her ear, Yun, will you marry me? This time she didn't hesitate and said, yes, I will. Yes, I will. Our wedding was a low-key affair attended only by close family and friends. But everyone present was so influential that the entire capital could tremble at their mere gesture. Even Chin Rashway was at the wedding, though she hadn't been invited, but she came uninvited and stood quietly in a corner. Loneliness and regret were evident in her eyes as we exchanged rings and neck. She seemed much weaker than before. Her former aura was completely gone, and her entire being was filled with fatigue and despair. I merely glanced at her and turned away and echo. Some people once lost are lost for life. From beginning to end, the only thing in my sight and heart was the girl standing beside me in bridal attire. I lifted her veil, looked at her blushing cheeks, and kissed her, saying, I love you. Oh, Chinmo. Life after marriage was simple, but it was incredibly pleasant and sweet. I still lived a comfortable life, going to bed and waking up as I pleased. Cooking for my wife and trying new dishes became my hobby. I would occasionally go to company meetings, but the rest of the time I spent with you. People would joke, Chinmo hasn't woken up yet. My hashtag used to be trending online. But now, instead of making fun of him, people were jealous of our pairing. Our President Chin hasn't woken up yet. He must be home with his wife. What a wonderful husband he is. He earns the money and you just stay beautiful like a flower, and he's incredibly handsome himself. You must have saved the world in his previous life. As for me, I spoiled you too much with pampering. I want to give him all the best things in this world.